Hello all. I haven't posted a video for quite a while. Been busy, been feeling really good. Energy levels are up. My brain is working better than it has since the brain surgery 9.5 years ago. So all the lifestyle changes, predominantly vegan, whole food, plant-based, the exercise, taking things slower, resting, all that sort of stuff's really working. So I'm feeling really good. But one thing I get asked a lot is, how do I just keep going with everything that I've experienced? And those of you who that I'm friends with, who follow me and stuff like that, you know a lot of the stuff I've been through. And with business networking that I've been doing, we get asked what our greatest gift is, and it tends to make a lot of people uncomfortable. But it's a really important question. What's your greatest gift? And the one that I come back with consistently is that I am resilient. I just keep going. I'm resilient. And I get asked, how? How do I just keep going? And I don't know that I've had an answer in the past. It's been like, I just do. But I've read two things this morning that I think have catalysed how I've grown to approach the world. I've not naturally done this. It's a process that I've been developing for a long time. And the first one I read is, if you expect the world to treat you fairly because you treat things fairly, then you're kidding yourself. It's like expecting the lion not to eat you because you won't eat the lion. And I think that's incredibly fair. It's the fair and just world. It's not my fault. It's blaming other people for what's going on in the world. It's expecting other people, the world, your body, politics, you name it, to treat you the way you think you should be treated, that you deserve to be treated, and then getting upset when it doesn't. Fair and just is the terminology my partner and I use. And the other thing I was reading, it's Sarah Wilson's book, I've forgotten what it's called, This Wild and Exciting Life. I can't remember. Brilliant book. And what she talks about is how building resilience it's not something you're born with. It's something you have to do by being faced with tough situations. You need to go through the pain in order to build resilience. It's like going to the gym to build a muscle. You've got to feel that muscle work. You've got to do it consistently. You're going to feel sore. You're going to feel tired. You're going to ache. That muscle builds strength. It's like that in life. It's like that with resilience. You need to build resilience. And that happens through being hurt. It happens through going through tough situations. It happens by choosing to face up to things instead of blaming other people, the government. There's so many things to blame. And here's the analogy, the picture that I have in my head, because I tend to think in pictures a lot. And it's like when something happens to us. Could be getting diagnosed with an illness. It could be a relationship breakup. It could be someone treating us disrespectfully. It could be losing a job. It could be coronavirus. It could be the government. It could be the wrong president getting in that you didn't like. President, prime minister, anything at all. If something happens in your life and the first thought, your first thought bubble is, that's not fair. That's not fair. Another thought bubble. Why does this happen to me? Here's another one. That person, thing, people, places, things. That's to blame for why I feel uncomfortable. Another thought bubble up there. I'm offended by this, so therefore that person needs to change. When we react by externalizing, when something happens to us that we don't like, if we react by externalizing that, every time we do, we put up a thought bubble, we stick up the placard, the protest placard, and we walk around with these around us all the time. And what I get in my head is essentially they're sales. Because guess what? The world, life, people, the winds of change, the winds of hard times, the winds of pain, they keep circling this planet. They're going to keep coming back to you. You cannot expect to build resilience if you're trying to avoid them. And that's what these wins, that's what these placards are, these thought bubbles. They're avoidance thoughts. And if you get enough of those around you, and those winds of something going on that you don't like hit you, you've just become a ship. You've just become a big sailboat. And you're just going to get pushed out of the way. You're just going to get pushed around. You are at the whim of what this world is going to throw at you. And it's because you have not dug in, taken responsibility, and gotten rid of the blame, gotten rid of the externalizing. Now, I'm not saying you're responsible for some of that shit hitting you. You're not sometimes. People might treat you like shit. You didn't ask for that. Did you stay so they can keep treating you like shit? Responsibility is on you. And this is how I approach it. I approach it with 100% responsibility. I have worked all these years to get rid of my placards, to get rid of those thought bubbles. I choose not to be a ship with all the sails up, so that when something comes and hits me, and it will, something will happen again, because that's life. Tough shit happens in life. But I can face into the wind, and I can look at it and just go, right, okay, this is what's happening. How do I navigate it? I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not sitting here going, that's not fair. I'm not sitting here going, oh, but it's why me? They're to blame. It's their fault. They shouldn't do that. It's the government's fault. It's the virus's fault. Someone released something overseas. I don't care what it is. I don't do that. I sit here and go, do you know what? Here's another situation. This has rolled into my life. How do I navigate it? Did I cause it? Yes or no? It doesn't actually matter. Doesn't matter. How do I navigate it and become a better person from it? How do I lean into the wind? How do I sit there, front of the Titanic, arms out? How do I navigate this without blame, without externalizing all of that energy that you put into, like I said, it's not fair. Why is it happening to me? Someone else's fault. All of that energy is just catching the wind. It's all it's doing, and it's putting you back, putting you further and further behind from where you started. And that's how I do it. That's how I have chosen to build resilience. It's how I have chosen to approach this world. And so whenever the next thing comes, I'll just stand grounded. It will flow around me. Bit of a slipstream happening there, because I've made a point of removing those things that'll catch that wind. And I'll just approach it and just go, right, okay, so this is here. This has happened. I might get diagnosed with more tumours. The new business that I'm building might not work. Something could happen to my partner. Something could happen to one of my kids. Sinking into the hole of blame and poor bugger me and all of that sort of stuff doesn't work. To build resilience, we need to hurt. We need to feel the pain. We need to own that. And then we need to go, right, how do I navigate it? If we keep running away from pain, and we do this with our kids, we remove the danger. We remove the triggers. We're so busy trying to make life easier and easier, we're destroying our resilience. It's about, try going without. You ever been in your life where you've had to choose between food and choose for your kids? How are you going to get that sort of resilience if you've not had to make decisions like that? If you've had to decide, am I going to just take the drugs that the doctors tell me, or am I prepared to do the hard yards and actually improve my health? These are decisions are all ours, and they're no one else's. There's no one else to blame. And when we accept that the decision how to react is ours and ours alone, and nobody can force us to make another decision. They can't force it. We might feel forced. We might feel a lot of pressure to make a different decision, but nobody can force us. I'll give you an example with the vaccinations. Yeah, a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure to get vaccinated. I don't judge people whether or not they're vaccinated. It's none of my business whether or not someone is vaccinated. I chose to get 2 vaccinations so I can go and see my kids. I didn't have to do that. I could have told my children that I'm not coming until the vaccinations aren't required to travel, which I did believe would come at some point. But I chose to get vaccinated twice so that I could see my children. Did I choose to get the third one? No, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to, because I don't necessarily believe the medical stuff. There's pressure to get it. That's my decision. My decision to do it. Now people are going, yep, could have lost my job and stuff like that. Yeah, but you still had a decision. You had a choice. And this is how I approach my life. I'm not dissing anyone else's decisions here. I'm not disrespecting anyone. This is just how I approach my stuff. I have a choice. Am I prepared to deal with the consequences of my choice? My responsibility. So that's how for everyone who's asked me how I just keep getting up and doing stuff, it's because I choose to face the hurt, and I choose to feel it, and I choose to go through it and work out how to navigate it. I don't choose to hide it. I don't blame other people. I don't go, this isn't fair. I don't expect anyone to look after me the way I want to be looked after. I look after me the way I want to be looked after. And if I don't like the way this country operates, or this government operates, or this even local council, I've got the choice. I can move. This is my personal approach. And whether or not you like it, that's your choice. That's your choice to respond to that. And if anything I've said makes you really uncomfortable, I'd suggest you sit with it. Sit with it and work out a way through it for yourself, because what you're doing is building resilience. So, yeah. Thoughts for this morning, folks. Right now I need to go and have a shower and actually get to work. So I hope you're all well with whatever your choices and decisions are. I hope you're all well. I hope that you are building your resilience too, because the world is a funny old place and it's going to test us. And I hope for all of you that you come out stronger every time. We'll talk soon.